Here we have the masters of the High Renaissance sitting around a table by invitation of the young Raphael, eager to meet and discuss with two of the most influential people in his life their ideas and how they came about them. After some quick generic greetings among each other, everyone gathered around for a meal. The year is 1513, and the artists have all taken the night off in Rome from their hard work to come together. To break the awkward silence, Raphael takes the first step of opening the table up to conversation.
Thank you for coming today. I know how life can get busy.
You're very welcome. I'm finally able to create some of the statues for Julius II's tomb. Contracts with these relatives are so tedious. It's been 8 years already, and I can't honestly see everyone cooperating for much longer on the matter.
I'm sorry to hear that. I myself been working on the stanza de Leonardo. It was quite the opportunity to work for Julius II. If it wasn't for Bramante and Julius, I'd not be where I am now working with Leo X. I am especially thankful for Julius, for putting me in the same facility where you, Michelangelo, were also working. You gave the ceiling a masterful adaptation with strong muscular firmness in your persons. When I was able to see your work, I was forever moved.
I will say, Michelangelo, that with the angularity and movement of your figures, they are exquisitely rendered and fluid. I applaud you on your anatomical studies. Though I must proclaim that to truly render the body, you must rely on that of which gives us perception, the eye itself. The eye embraces the beauty of the whole world. It is the window of the human body, through which it mirrors its way and brings fruition the beauty of the world. Why make your bodies exaggeratedly muscular? Mother Nature does not seem anywhere near your divine figures, or better said, sack of nuts.
Sack of nuts, you say? I combine bodily power with that of grace. My people are entities of beauty. Why make something which is not beautiful and divine? I focus on life of the human soul as expressed within the structure and movements of the human body.
Michelangelo, your figures were fantastically rendered, as I have said before, and will continue to praise. Leonardo, I have learned to really observe nature since my arrival to Florence. I have since tried to incorporate your mathematical rules, which have done wonders for the organization of ages, statues, and convincing quality in my work.
Raphael, your work on the stanza, including philosophy, was quite exquisite. Your use of linear perspective helped accentuate your integrated individuals socially interacting with your grand landscape. It resulted in a dynamic scene which reminded me much of my Last Supper in Adoration of the Magi.
Both of you have rendered the body so fine indeed, and I have much to learn from you still. You both cannot deny the influence of your work on others. Michelangelo, your Pieta was powerful indeed, and Leonardo, your cartoon of the Virgin and Child with St. Anne and John the Baptist have reverberated in my work since my exposure to it.
One tip I can tell you is to learn by drawing nudes in all seasons and combine the parts of which best fit you. Also, combining and overlapping your figures does provide a more intimate connection between people. The grouping of said figures often brings out the natural qualities of interaction. One advantage for using dark and light charcoal, for instance, as in my cartoon, is the effect of light caressing the flesh, while merging simultaneously into deep shadow. Lighting can bring out so many qualities when used correctly. My portraiture takes full advantage of this. But the most important thing when thinking about the Virgin and the Christ child, or any bond between others, is how the real connection occurs. Think about how a real mother and son interact with one another. And then you can add a level of grace and dignity which is true to the nature and human soul. Your use of color with your figures has had quite an astounding maturity rate.
Ah, yes. Light is a thing which I have been recently interested in, and with color I am still experimenting. You have really unified your figures by means of lighting, and I have tried this as well. In my earlier Madonnas, for instance, as with my Madonna of the Meadows, the organic interaction between mother and child was what I was trying to visualize. The smoothness of their features has a sort of loving effect that also binds them to their landscape. And like your cartoon, Leonardo, I tried to pose my Madonna with her arms holding Christ while her leg juts out as a sort of motherly reaction. Presentation of these figures with a pyramidal composition made it all the more moving. The bold coloring was like that of my master's hand, but now as in my Liberation of St. Peter, I feel more satisfied with the emotion I can provoke with my evolving skill.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad you realize the power of geometric and mathematical organization, as well as having nature in mind.
It is sometimes hard for me to believe that you, Michelangelo, were able to create such a strong reaction with your Pieta.
Yes, thank you. It apparently was hard for others to believe that I had accomplished such art as well. Some people didn't understand my figuration of Mary either. What they lacked in understanding was that my youthful virgin is a testament to those of chaste women, and since the Holy Virgin is the most chaste woman of them all, she shall be more youthful. Chaste women stay fresh, and much more than those who are not chaste.
And tell me, how did you figure the proportions for such a creation?
Mary's size needed to be the foundation of Christ, both literally and emotionally. The motherly virgin embraces the small and feebled body of Christ in the movement of mourning that can make even the firmest of character falter in the heart. The elongated slump of Christ's body imitates the motion of his mother's grasp and the folds of her robes.
I'll admit that the Christ has a more naturalistic look, while your Mary of ideal beauty. I can see that your Pieta is similar in shape to that of a pyramid as well. On the note of your sculpture, I remember not too long after that particular work, helping decide where to put your David, Michelangelo, a thing 13 feet tall with such firmness and tension withheld in his stare and body.
It was quite an innovation to choose the moment before battle. It was a feature of superhuman grandeur to undertake. It is no wonder the Florentines took it to represent their city.
I'd like to note that the bold curls of the hair, heavily defined eyes, jutting rib cage, enlarged hands and feet, and musculature in general were included as to meant to be seen from afar. They were exaggerated to make visual sense from below, and though I insist that the body's most ultimate form is in the nude, they went and put a girdle on it before officially displaying it.
But with that aside, you still accomplished a mighty task. The contrapposto shift, while only utilizing minimal embellishments, the sling and the rock, all amount to this building moment of attack. When seeing his stern outward gaze, one can feel as if this mighty giant will protect you from whatever foe may come. Such boldness reminds me also of Leonardo's Mona Lisa.
Ah, my Mona Lisa. In portraiture, I have seen it as an opportunity to address the person as individual. At first glance, the smoothness of her features and softness in her smile sets her apart as being a gentle lady, composed and self-assured. You can also say that with her folded arms and pose, she forms yet again a pyramid, that geometric form which is utilized so often. With Lisa, I engaged her gaze with that of the viewer, a bold concept to undertake, as it was a move unseen with many women depicted in our time. I merged her with that of a natural landscape, blending my color scheme with sfumato, again as a unifying element to eliminate any pre-existing lines that would otherwise detract from the natural appearance. The undulating folds of her clothes mimic that of her surroundings, uniting her yet again with that of nature. The highest region of the background degrades to a point of mist, which in turn allows the viewer to focus on her eyes, making you interested in the sitter. Lisa looks out into the beauty of the world, not letting you release your eyes to wander elsewhere. Now, Raphael, I would especially like to applaud you on your visual depiction of the illicit group within your philosophy. Very descriptive.
I wanted to envision one grasping a concept by the shifting positions and dispositions of the students around Euclid. The figure standing above his master is at the point of more scholarly learning, his stance being like a watchful student over his master. His fellow peer below him is half-rising, with a look upon his face of a dawning understanding coming about him. The figure closest to the ground shows the beginning phase of this whole process. I arranged them in an upward circular movement as a progressive response mechanism. Euclid dominates the group with his bold gestures and form. I made sure that he occupied the more space with his underlings to point out visually his purpose in the scene. Other such groupings show conversations flowing smoothly among certain persons to their specific area of proficiency. In all, I used the human form to present the men here in a scholarly arrangement of individuals, embellishing with movement or decor to emphasize the narrative or historical purpose of the person within the collective body. With focusing on Plato and Aristotle in the center, their arm motions, along with their respective books, allude to their own specific philosophy of celestial and terrestrial, binding the two thoughts of the foundation of Christianity.
And that you have. The figurations respond to each other in such a way which no two are alike. The entire body of people seems to be that of the same entity, not to mention the resulting room as a whole providing the introspective representation of humanity.
The visual complexity of the group dynamic was powerful indeed.
Thank you all. You have been so very kind.
The body breaks and the body is fine. I'm open to your